feel like you're still pinching yourself.
I'm just like, I'm playing football. That's my job. So I'm 18 and I'm not knowing that I'm autistic. If there is an issue, I'm gonna raise it. Like, I can't stand and watch other people suffer. If that means that it impacts me, but at least I'm standing with my values.
Hello and welcome to Stronger Than You Think with me, Ashley Wilmots.
And me, Jodie Ansley. Our guest today recently made history by representing Wales at the Women Euros.
Alongside that, she's done some amazing work to break down the stigmas around autism. We're going to be diving into that and so much more. We're delighted to welcome Safia Middleton-Patel. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Really good, man. Yeah, really good, thanks.
You've just come from training.
Yeah.
It's been a busy day.
It has been a busy day. It's been a windy day.
We haven't been
really
outside
windy.
much, to be
Yeah, I was gonna
honest.
say, we
You've
haven't
not
been
been
out.
Good job we're not missing out on anything.
No, but it's been fun. Back in pre-season now, so whew, just straight.
You don't get a break, do you?
No. I mean, I had, 2 weeks off after the Euros and then straight back in. Just got back from Marbella as well.
Oh, it's
so
tough.
it's just been really tough.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Well, it's amazing that you get to, I imagine, experience these things with work as well. I thought when you first said in Marbella, I was like, oh, maybe that you did that in your 2 weeks off. But I guess that's with the team.
That was the holiday.
Holiday. Okay.
No,
right.
I wish.
Oh.
No, that was like a hot season camp. What do you call it? Just hot training.
Hot training kind
You're
of
just
thing.
hot all the time.
Humidity.
Yeah,
training
something like
and-
that. But even though it was a heat wave here, I think last week. So we went away for hot weather when we got hot weather in Manchester for the first time.
I'd rather have hot weather in Marbella though than, in Manchester or London. It's not quite the same.
No, it was nice. It was good. Like more of team bonding, probably. All stuck in one hotel for a week.
What is that like? So much
I don't know. It's weird. It's like, because you see everyone every day anyway, and then you get put in a hotel for a week. And then you see like true personalities, like who wakes up late, who doesn't, who gets up early.
The good and the bad
All
bit.
the good and the bad and the sweaty bits as well. So
I feel like that's something I am so jealous of not being an athlete is going on tour. Or I mean, I know it's pre-season and, but you have that bond, you have that team and it's so intense. It must be, maybe you don't realise it even when you're in it. But those are the moments that you get stronger and you really get to know people. It does make you stronger as a team, doesn't it?
yeah, it is that. I think like if you'd probably go 2 months down the line, we'll look back at it and be like, oh, remember that in Marbella when we had to, when some of the girls had to do a Bronco the day we got off a plane.
Oh.
Thankfully.
Do you know what a Bronco is?
I've heard rumours of how terrible they are.
A Bronco, it's basically it's 20 out, back, 40 out, back, 60 metres out, back. Is it 5 times? Or is it 6 times?
I think it might be 5.
5
Sounds
times.
like the bleak test. Oh.
But like you have to get I think the girls' aim was 5 minutes and below because it was the heat and hot and whatever.
So you have to do all of that in less than 5 minutes?
Yeah, they did. I didn't, thankfully. We had to do around the goal box movements, goalkeeper stuff, up and down. All the girls, are like, oh, I'd love to be a goalkeeper right now. And I'm like, I don't think you do. The ground was rock solid.
I was going to say,
But-
that sounds brutal.
I mean, that was brutal for them. They weren't very happy, but they did it. And then and it's jokes after. So it's one of them.
I mean, you're all living the dream at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, pro football it's pretty...
Kicking the ball about in the sun.
Could be worse.
Exactly. Could be well worse.
Let's talk about that. The Euros. Your first Euros. The first Euros for Wales. In terms of just being there, experiencing it, just talk us through what it was like for you and when you got the call up.
Oh, well, firstly, when I got the call up, wasn't a great time. I was in the middle of nowhere on a walk and I hadn't had signal for 3 hours. This is at 1 o'clock. So my phone had clearly rang at 10. And I remember getting one little blip of signal and I've got 3 missed calls from Rian, the manager. And then a message being hope you're still in bed because we got back the day before. Drop me a message when you can, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking, oh my God, I've really wasted this. This is meant to be when you pick up the phone to the manager and I just clearly haven't 3 times. And I remember walking because I had no signal again. So I was walking around trying to find signal for a good 10, 15 minutes. I was crying. I was, oh my God, I've really messed this up here. Get through. It rings and then Rian doesn't pick up. So I'm oh my God, this is so bad.
Is that because at this moment you're not really sure either way?
No, I'm just
you don't know what's
the
happening?
day before she was I will be doing like hopping on calls, you know, you'll be finding out, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, still in the air. Like, you don't know. You're never guaranteed anything in sport.
But you decided to go for a walk
So
in the middle of nowhere.
you know,
So
let's just
Let's
have
just
a little
forget
chill
about that.
moment and not think about it. And yeah, so I'm walking around a field and I get another bit of signal. Ring her. She doesn't pick up. So I message her. I'm like, I'm really sorry. Blah, 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 like,
call me back.
call me back when you can. And I get it through and she's there like, yeah, congratulations. You're on the squad. You're on the plane. Be ready. And I just cried. I I couldn't stop. And then the first person I rang was my mum, crying. And I'm just stood in a field, crying my eyes out. And I'm like, right, okay, this is really happening now.
Were you on your own?
No, I was with my boyfriend, but I was like, you need to go. You need to go. I don't want you seeing me like this. So he carried on, but yeah. And then obviously it's the first for Wales, first for myself. Never been to a major tournament like it. And it was surreal. I really don't think I've taken it in fully yet. Like every day I keep like remembering things. And it came out like, I remember 2 weeks into camp, it was like Safia Middleton-Patel, first South Asian player to play at the Euros as well. And it was like, this isn't real. Like, this actually isn't real. I can't believe this. So it's still drip feeding in.
It feels like a dream anyway.
Yeah.
And it feels amazing for Wales as a country as well to finally have qualified for that. And then for you to just be living in the era that this happens. And then you're making your own slice of history at the same time. Like, it doesn't happen like this for most people. It must feel like such a proud moment, but really surreal at the same time.
No, it is 100% probably the proudest moment. But again, I'm still like, is it really like happening? Is it real? Because, you know, all the fans there. I remember it was even after the game that I made my debut. I just cried. Like, if I'm being real, I didn't care about the result because it was still history. And I'd gone out there and given it my all. And then I went to the end and all the fans and the Red Bull were just singing and I just cried. And everyone was like, are you okay? Like, you don't need to worry. And I'm like, I'm not even worried. I'm not even sad. Like, this is all happy. And yeah, I just look back at like pictures and I'm just like, that happened. When I was little, I didn't even know that Wales had a football team you could play for, nor picture myself 10 years down the line playing for them on the telly at a major tournament. So I can't believe it.
I love it.
It's like a dream, innit? You're literally speaking a dream. I mean, even like coming out of the tunnel, like I can't even imagine what was just going through your mind in that moment. Like,
No, to be fair, it was just silence. I was just trying to block everything out because that 2 minutes you're in the tunnel, I don't know if you've ever experienced, it is so long.
yeah,
You are stood there for so long waiting for the refs
Yeah.
just to walk out. You're like looking around. You're trying not to be intimidated by them whilst trying to intimidate them.
yeah.
And it just went on for so long. And it was also like goosebumps. You could hear the crowd, but I was trying to silence the crowd because that, you know, can be a lot. You don't want to like overdo yourself before you're singing the national anthem. And even that in itself, when you're singing the national anthem for Wales and your country that, you know, you love so much, it's just surreal.
I feel like that could be quite overstimulating and quite overwhelming. And it's important, isn't it, to be able to, I don't know, process it. Like you say, you don't want it to be a distraction. There's so many mind games that are happening in these moments and you're experiencing all of that for the first time because you're up against teams with players who have probably got that, well, they do have that experience. So, yeah, what was that like? Did you learn a lot in the process of the whole Euros?
I think I've learned so much. Like you said, like, just managing ways that you can kind of control your emotions. Like, we always said pressure is like a privilege. Like, for you to be able to use pressure at such a high level is something you should be proud of, but something you should use. So I remember being in the tunnel and it was kind of like, okay, this is your moment. Like, you're allowed to have nerves, you're allowed to have feelings, but it's how you channel them. And I remember being in the tunnel and Haz, our captain, I remember she just turned and smiled and gave me like a little nod. And for me, that was like you've got this. Like, you have nothing to worry about. You know, make a mistake, you bin it, you do the next thing. Don't dwell on anything. Don't think about anything. Just think of the next thing you have to do. And yeah, like, even ways in the tunnel, like, I'll drum on my leg. And it's just ways that I can kind of take the energy that I have and kind of just channel it into one little mechanism. But there was definitely nerves. There was definitely a lot of nerves. And until I kicked the ball for the first time, got the first touch, after that I was like, you're fine.
You're fine.
You've done this however many times, you've done it hours and hours a day. You are fine. You know what you're doing.
And I feel like there's a different kind of pressure on a goalkeeper as well. Like, it's a team sport. But do you feel like, well, in moments you're there, it's like, I don't know, you're like on your own kind of?
Yeah. It is really lonely.
Yeah.
But like, it's a good lonely, because you can either be the hero or you can, not. And I think even for me during that game, I got a lot of hate after for mistakes that, they're genuine mistakes. It's not like I meant it. But it's one that, like you say, a goalkeeper's the last man of defence. Like, you don't have anything behind you other than the net. And it's one that you kind of have to be mentally strong for. You have to know that this is what you're signing up for. But it's one I like. I like it, It's like the pressure is on you, but it's like a cool pressure. It's like you are good enough to be here. And everyone trusts you. Like, everyone has your back. Likewise, I have everyone else's back. But it's a bit more intense.
But it is a team effort at the end of the day, and it's annoying when you get pinpointed and maybe you receive abuse because that you're in that position. It kind of sometimes it comes with the territory, which doesn't feel very fair. And also with Wales as a women's football team, they're on a different journey to some of the other teams. I feel like in women's sport as in general, everyone is developing at different times and we're all trying to get to like a similar level. But I feel like just to make a Euros, there's so much to be proud of, despite, the outcome or the results. I feel like that's actually a byproduct of the history that Wales are making right now. I think you've got to see it as a positive. The fact that you've got a team, you're at the Euros, your fans are there, you've got fans there, like, that are travelling. I mean, the atmosphere must have been amazing, and I'm sure you and the team take so many positives from that entire experience.
Absolutely. It's one of them things, like, the draw got made and we were seen in Group D, and everyone immediately called it the death group, because we had last year's winners who are this year's winners again. We had previous winners in Netherlands and France, and it's like...
It's tough.
That is probably the hardest group you could have, and I remember everyone being like, I'm sorry. And we were like, what are you sorry for? We want this.
Yeah.
This is our first tournament. Why not go all out? Like, and again, the games were hard and the results didn't go as we wanted, but it was also a learning curve for us because we haven't been in that situation before. We haven't been in that pressurized moments before. And we were trying new things, and we weren't afraid to try the new things. Like, we wanted to try them against the best of the best, because if we can do that, then we can do it against anyone. And it was special because the fans were always behind us. No matter what happened in that game, you could still hear them singing. And they were the loudest I think I've ever heard, but also the loudest out of any fans. Like, you had the Netherlands fans, and they're wild. Like, they were all orange, but then you had red, and they were overpowering. Likewise, France game and the England game. Like, that was probably the most sold out game I played at. And you could still hear the Welsh fans, even though we were losing. And that's something that's like really special, and just it sums Wales up. Like, we've gone through a lot as a country, but it doesn't matter because we're Wales.
That is pretty special, isn't it? And like, obviously, with it being such a new experience, what kind of what headspace were you all in? What were the expectations? Were you just like, we've just got to embrace this opportunity, or how did you sort of manage that?
We had this like little group motto, and it was, why not? Why not? Like, there's absolutely nothing to lose. Why not? Go do it. Go try these things. Go make mistakes. Go show other nations that we are Wales and we're not afraid of you. And it was one of them where it was like, after the first game, we didn't get the result we wanted, but that's okay. So let's go into France and try new things. Let's try the same things that worked and just keep building and keep building. And then again, the France game, we played personally one of our best games. Didn't get the result, but why did that matter? Because we were out there having fun, showing that we were on the same level as France. And again, England, why not? Just go show who we are. So we had that little motto all the way through, and I think that's something that we'll probably continue to carry for the next generation.
And sometimes it doesn't come down to the results on the day. It's really about thinking about the bigger picture here. You are setting foundations for, future players you are always going to be part of that first team that went to the Euros for Wales. That is so special, so iconic, and literally it feels like the results really don't matter for a team like Wales in their infancy within this tournament. You know, it's just going to get bigger and better from that moment on, and I think why not is a perfect attitude to have in that space, because it means that you guys can actually enjoy it and not put too much pressure on yourself, because sometimes, I mean, pressure is a privilege, but it does distract from being in the present sometimes, and just taking in those little moments in the tunnel, because they're the special bits, and like hearing the fans get behind you, and it's like, yeah, you're all there together. I can't even imagine what that's like.
It was one of them. It was like as soon as I think Rian said, why not? I think everyone clicked on to be like, you can chill, you can breathe. Like, I think what's good about Rian is she's been a professional footballer at a very, very high level. And, you know, she's a Canadian legend, and she's been through what we've been through. She's been to multiple Olympics, multiple World Cups, you know. So it's one of them where she understands how we're feeling. And, you know, pressure can put a lot of stress and a lot of unwanted emotions on a team, especially when you're with each other for 3 weeks, and some people aren't getting the minutes they want, and some people aren't training, and all this, and some people making mistakes and getting hate and blah, blah, blah. But it's one of them where it's like, if we're together, who cares? Who cares? Because the people who are giving the hate aren't in your position. They don't understand. Like, there you go, have my gloves, go and have a go. Because you don't know what it's like. You probably can't kick a ball. So it's one of them where we all had each other's backs, and it was at a point where it clicked, and we were like, it's fine, we can have fun. We got the red ball, it's fine.
Yeah, and even like such a simple motto like, why not? It's crazy how just something like that could literally just switch your mindset of, again, just that pressure and just thinking, you know what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. Like, we've gone here with no expectations, just to play and prove to the new generation, the older generation, that this is now the level we're at, and this is where we want to keep pushing. We want to get young girls into the game. We want to get older players into the game. You know, we want Wales to love football, especially women's football. Because, like I said, like when I was little, I didn't know that you could play for Wales.
I know. Now look at you now, 20 years old.
I know. Weird.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
It's amazing, to be honest. And I'm so glad that we're all living in this era of women's sport. We're seeing women do amazing things in the rugby world and the football world, but also, you know, further afield. And I just think witnessing these moments for all of us, no matter what kind of job you have, is so nice just to be part of that history, like to see the transformation of women in sport and see the respect levels just keep leveling up, and we're breaking down barriers, and you are so part of that now. You're always going to have your name in those history books, no matter where life takes you. That must fill you with so much joy, and you must be so proud of yourself, and your family must be so proud of you.
Yeah, that is one thing. My family, I remember getting on the plane, and my brother slipped a little card into my bag, and I opened it. I shouldn't have opened it on the plane, bad timing. And at the end, he put, no matter what the results are, I'm proud of you. And again, I was gone. And I was like, this is what I do it for. Like, I don't do it for the fame, the money. I do it to make people proud who are close to me and to just enjoy life. But, God, don't open cards on planes.
Yeah, on the plane as well.
It's so
I was like,
cute.
at the back of the plane, everyone's like turning around because we were on a small little plane. I was like, oh, God, sorry, guys. Brother's just made me cry in a card.
That's
Sometimes
so
you
sweet.
need that, though. I think having a support group around you, they would have seen you throughout your journey to that point as well. Like, you have to sacrifice a lot. You have to go through a lot as elite athletes and give up a lot of your social life or your teenage years because you have to be so, I don't know, determined and driven and dedicated. Let's talk about your journey to becoming a goalkeeper, because it wasn't always a goalkeeper. You were a striker at one point, weren't you?
Yeah.
When did this change? Talk us, how did you even get into football?
I think just when I was little, I used to hang around with the boys a lot at school. They were just easier to get on with, less hassle, you know, just crack on at lunch, kick about with a ball. And one of my best friends, his dad basically ran like the age group, which was probably like under fives, for Boris Park Albion, which is my local team at Wrexham. And I kind of just started there. You never really had positions, but I'd always like creep myself up to striker because it was just the fun one. And I stayed there, you know, kept on playing, and it got to a point where there was summer schools, and there was one camp. I was the only girl. We had a penalty shootout. Who'd you throw in goal? The girl, the only girl, because I'm not going to say no. Like, okay, it's okay, I'll go in goal. Yes. I saved quite a few, and I actually found it really fun that the lads were getting annoyed and the lads were disappointed and the lads were like, oh, well, like, get her out now, get her out. So I just stayed, and I remember I went to a trial at Liverpool. I want to say when I was like maybe 10, and they didn't do goalkeepers. You just had to play. So I was back in strike and like trying to get back in goal though. And I got offered it. I got offered like, it's not really a contract, but it's like a little RTC. And I actually stayed at Liverpool for 8 years. But by that point, you could be a position, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go in goal. Mainly because it was fun when I, you know, disappointed the lads when they couldn't score, but also because nobody else wanted to go in goal. And it was just an easy option for me, you know, I'll go in goal, yeah, it's fine, don't have to do the running. And then, yeah, I had a really difficult 2 years to end, which was right before COVID as well, so I don't think that helped. I got released, and at the same time, I got signed for United, which was probably the best time for it to happen, I think. And yeah, I've been at United ever since. Got offered my pro contract when I turned 18. Made my way into Wales. It's kind of just been a bit of a
blur.
Yeah.
It's all happened quite quickly
Like,
as well,
it's all just kind of fallen into place. I think I've been really lucky to know a coach at Liverpool who then went to United, who then took me to United. Weird.
Was it like always football? So obviously when you started and you had that moment in goal, was it like, this is what I want to do? Or was it just kind of happened by chance and you just ended up taking off?
Yeah, it's a funny one because, you know, some people are like, have you always wanted to play football? Like, you must be living your dream. I'm like, it never was my dream. I never really like had that desire to be a footballer. Like, I was okay if I played football and I was okay if I didn't play football. But it was one of them, I was good at it. And I also kind of didn't want to disappoint my parents because they spent so much time on the motorways. I'm like, I have to give it a go. I have to see if I can make it. And it is one of them that fall into place. And I've just continued with it. And I do think I've fallen in love with it as more and more every day. But it is like, how did it happen? I don't know.
I feel like you're still pinching yourself.
I'm just like, I'm playing football. That's my job.
That is so cool.
It is.
I'm like, we grew up in an era where we didn't see a lot of women playing sport. And now the fact that you can sit here and be like, that is what I do.
Doing it.
I love that for you. But it has come with its challenges. You know, obviously we want to touch on a few of those. I don't know whether you had any major challenges when you were younger, but obviously you've also had to deal with being on loan at different clubs. You then have to gel with different teams. You know, what challenges do you feel come to mind that really stand out for you?
I think the main one probably would be getting released from Liverpool. It was at a time where mentally I wasn't okay. Like, I probably should have stopped on my own behalf, but I didn't. And it ended up being that I got released on behavioural issues. So not necessarily like my ability, it was more so that I would raise problems on behalf of other people because I thought it wasn't okay. And it was difficult because, you know, at that age I'm like, that's not okay, that's wrong, that's not okay. And maybe I should have just let it slide, but I'm not that kind of person. Like, if something's wrong, you're going to know it's wrong. And I can't let that slide. But at the same time, mentally, I wasn't in the right headspace. COVID just about hit. So it was all, again, a massive blur that season. I ended up getting released and being like, well, Where do I go from now? And I am very fortunate that I knew one of the head coaches that had just moved to United, and he was probably the one that I could go to the most and could relate to the most, because he understood, but he wasn't in a position of power that he could change anything. So he kind of just took me across. And yeah, again, loans is hard as well. For me personally, moving away from home, having to meet new people, having to get used to new structures that you're not used to, facilities you're not used to, doors. I hate doors. And I remember going to Watford, and there's this door that needs a code, but you have to push the door in one way to pull it out. I didn't like that door. And that's probably one of the hardest things I've had to deal with, is a door, because I didn't know how to open it to get into training. But yeah, I have been quite fortunate that it's not been like too hard that I thought I'd have to stop. But
well, good for you for also speaking out on those issues or whatever that is. I think it takes someone who's really brave and someone who's very strong to just think, you know what, this is bigger than me. I'm going to talk or raise whatever issues it was. Do you look back on that time now and think that you're still happy with the decision that you made? Obviously, it's all come good in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just part of me that I have to, if there is an issue, I'm going to raise it. Like, I can't stand and watch other people suffer. If that means that it impacts me, but at least I'm standing with my values. And yeah, I don't regret it. It's got me to where I am. I always say everything happens for a reason, so here we are.
So do I. I feel like that's good to live by, the good and the bad.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously you touch on sort of the lows. I think a lot of people don't really talk about the lows in sports, because I think a lot of people think, oh, you're professional athletes, you're living the life, but really there are a lot of challenges that you have to overcome, and sometimes you don't feel right bringing them up. I'm just intrigued, how did you manage that? And when you are in those low periods, how do you get yourself out of it? You know, if like young girls are watching this and in a similar position.
I think for me, it's just knowing who I am. Like, I have my values. Like, I want to be honest. I want to be, you know, I always want to tell the truth. And I have a really good group of friends. And it doesn't have to be 10, 20 people. Like, I have 3 main friends that I can always go to. And if I'm down, they know I'm down, because I'm not as loud and as bubbly as I am. But it's also one of them where I've got to the point where I'm comfortable to speak out. If you'd asked me this 5 years ago, I would have been like, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Nothing's wrong. Like, yes, training's hard, but it's fine. And it did have to get to a really low point where personally in life, I didn't think I could continue, and I had to speak to my mum and had to be like, look, I need help. But I'm now at the point where it's like, it's okay to speak. Like, you shouldn't be feeling like alone, especially when you've got friends and family around you who genuinely want to help you. But it is one of them where a lot of athletes don't speak out, because it's like, it's not cool. You should be fine all the time, which is not the case. Like, it's hard. It's lonely. You can't celebrate birthdays. You can't celebrate special occasions. You know, your day off isn't really a day off. Because personally for me, I'm still deloading from the day. But it is one of them, like, I've sought help. I'm on medication, which helps regulate my mood, which is, I think, should be spoken about more. It's okay to be on medication that helps regulate your mood.
Thank you for sharing that. I feel like it is a lot more common than people realise. And you're right, we do need to talk about it a bit more. And also, not only feeling moods, feeling up and down, as women, you have like different hormones you're having to deal with as well, and your periods, and there's a lot going on. Do you know what I mean?
There's
And
so
you're also
on.
trying to deliver, I don't know, your best with your career, and it's so demanding. So I can't even imagine. So well done for actually reaching out to someone and getting the help that you need, because I think a lot of people can take something from that. It's not easy to ask for help all the time. Did your teammates know about any of that?
Yeah, I was pretty clear. I mean, it did take me a while to tell them. I kind of drip feeded it in. Started with my friendship group, and then, you know, kind of just made its way around. And I'm fine with that. Like, people can ask me now, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I just went to doc, said I needed help. And again, I'm very fortunate though that I'm in a club that has that facility, because it's kind of fast forwarded. But all the girls know. They're all supportive. And I think it's better that way. I'd rather people know than not.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like when you touched on the Euros and then, whatever abuse you have to deal with then as a goalkeeper, you've got that extra weight on your shoulders in that position, and you know that it comes with that. So, I just wondered whether you can share anything about what you had to deal with in that situation, and then also if you found any mechanisms of ways of dealing with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just comes with the game. People don't like women's sport, and I'm just like, that's so stupid. If you don't like it, don't watch it. No one asked. And yeah, I got a lot of hate on Twitter. Personally, I don't have it, but it gets around, the team, you're getting hate, blah, blah, blah. Have you seen it? No. And ways that I dealt with, the online abuse was I didn't look for it. I had my little bubble, like people that I'd speak to on social media, but I made sure that I kept that small, and I didn't go searching for the hate. After a game, didn't go on social media. And it's one of them where it's like, but how do you see this? How do you see that? I don't want to see any of it until I got back. And by that point, hopefully it had been so far down on my feed that it wouldn't pop up. But it's there. You always know it's there when you're playing professionally. But again, it's ways that, you can kind of switch away from it and not care, because they're not in your position. They never will be. They never have. So the only opinions that matter, the ones that are close to me, my teammates, my staff members, my family, my friends, that's all I focused about. And at the end of the day, that made me happier. So,
yeah, as you call them, keyboard warriors. I mean, it just says a lot more about their lives, innit, and insecurities. So as long as you just got to focus on yourself, you've got your people around you, it's kind of irrelevant, innit? But you're always going to get it in any situation, especially these days with social media. It's huge. And like with the Euros and stuff, it's only growing and growing. So I suppose with that, you're naturally going to get more negative. But obviously you just have a great approach to it of like, don't care.
No, I don't care.
Yeah, you have to be like that though.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all the good things that you're doing, there's always a negative connotation in the background. And if you let those voices in, I just feel like it just takes away from all the amazing things that you and your teammates and your colleagues are doing. Like, you made history. That's what we should be focusing on. Like, everyone else, just no time for you.
See you later.
Yeah, irrelevant. So you touched on the door situation at the one of the loan clubs. Where was that again? Watford. Bad doors, Watford. I don't know whether that has anything to do with your autism diagnosis, and I wonder whether you can share a little bit more about that with us. When were you diagnosed with that?
At 18.
Right, so quite late.
Quite late, but recent. It's been 2 years since I've fully got to terms with it, but it is a late diagnosis. And it's something that's actually quite frequent in women. You don't really get diagnosed until later, because we're technically really good at masking, which is like hiding and pretending, basically. And yeah, I got diagnosed at 18. This was when I went to the club doctor, and I was in a really bad state. I hardly left the house. And yeah, I just thought, what is the point in life? There's no point. But it got to a stage where I was like, I need help. Otherwise, it's going to get to somewhere that's a lot worse, and I don't want that to happen for my family. So I remember it was actually on a game day, and I sat down on the physio bed, and I was like, to the head physio, I was like, can I get some strapping, please? And I just broke down. I didn't need strapping. I didn't need anything. I just needed a room with a door that was shut. And I just broke down into tears, and I was just like, I need help. I don't feel normal. I don't feel right. I don't know what's going on, but I can't continue like this. And I was sent straight to the doctor, and I had a note of all the things that I thought was wrong with me. And I read it out, and he was like, okay, I'll send you to a specialist. And this was just a neuroscientist specialist who worked in autism and ADHD. And at the time I was like, why am I going to this? Like, I just need help. I'm just really depressed and really anxious. And I remember having a sit-down chat with my mum. And again, I just cried. And I love crying now. But at the time, I was just crying and crying and crying. And she was like, I think you might have ASD. And I was like, okay, great. But what do I do with that? Like, it's just a label. And at the time, I was actually aiming to go to America for uni. And I went out, did a little college visit. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I went out. I hated every minute. I was miserable. But that was my dream for like 2 years prior to go out to America, because I didn't think playing professionally was what I was for. And then I was like, gosh, why? I remember sitting down, writing it down, and being like overstimulated, too much conversation, had to, you know, go against my normal schedule, normal routine. And it kind of all just fell into place. And I'd have more and more chats with the psychologist who diagnosed me. And it was like, yeah, it's clear. And I was in the car and she called me. And I hate calls. This is another thing. I hate phone calls. I hate anything that you don't know what's coming or you have to answer straight away to. And she basically explained, like, you do these certain tests and you get ranked on a number. And I was quite high. And I was just like, this isn't real. This isn't me. This, like, there's no chance. And she was like, no, you have autism. And that's okay. It's fine. You've just been living with it and not known because you're so good at masking. And it's kind of in your job to, you know, be really confident and good at interviews and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I remember going home, breaking down in the car, being like, oh, have I not known this? I'm 18 and I'm not knowing that I'm autistic. And it's kind of just been a self-discovery from that. Just been learning and going away, trying new things, you know. And like I say with doors, I'm petrified of doors. I don't know. I've always been petrified, but I thought it was just a little quirk that I had. I don't know. If the door doesn't have a push or a pull, I'm not using the door. And even when I'm with like my friends, if we go to a coffee shop, I'll be the first person to walk to the coffee shop. But then I kind of like drift back until they open the door and I'm like, thank you. Because I can't deal with doors and even like cutlery. I have really
I've seen this about you,
really
actually.
small cutlery.
Small?
Yeah. Like,
You bring it with you everywhere, don't you?
yeah, I've
Like
got a set in my car. Just in case. It's just literally on Amazon, kids metal cutlery. And it's like the first one that pops up. It's like a set free. And I bring that everywhere. Because I can't eat with... I don't like the texture of like a really big fork. Or like a soup spoon. That is my worst. We used to have one in the house, and every time, like, Mum would put it in, like, you know, like the drawer, and she'd put it on top, and I'd be like, what are you doing? I'd have to get, like, a fork and move it to the back of the drawer, because I couldn't look at it, I couldn't deal with it, couldn't touch it.
When you found out that you had autism, was it like a sense of relief? Did everything just suddenly
It all
start
kind of
making
made sense.
Yeah.
It all kind of just fell into place. It was hard, though, because when I got it, I was like, no, it's not true. We need to do some other tests. This isn't what's happening right now. And then I kind of, you know, was like, okay, Saf, get a grip. You've got the diagnosis. It's fine. Like, who cares? It is you. It's who I am. I've always been like this. And then as I started to, like, learn and understand myself, it'd be like, makes sense. Like, it really does make sense.
Also, so much easier now that you know.
Well, exactly.
It's such a shame that it has to take such a long time to get this stuff diagnosed. And I'm sure, like you've just mentioned, there's a few telltale signs that may have, I don't know, maybe other people have got and they might be thinking, but it's hard. It's hard for women. So, yeah, I guess now it must be a sense of just like living your life and just being able to manage your own things.
It's literally
that
just
you
finding
like.
ways to manage it. Everyone's like, what do you get out of it? And I'm like, well, I can ask for help. You know, in meetings, I can wear my sunglasses because, you know, when you turn dark room and you have just a big neon board with tactics, if I don't have my sunglasses on, I'm not focusing. Like, it's just how my brain processes it. Or, like, conversations, sometimes it's easier to have the questions sent beforehand so I can process it and I'm not, like, giving you the wrong answer. I've thought the question through and I've actually come up with it myself. Or just even like when I'm outside, it's okay to wear my sunglasses. It's bright. Everyone finds it bright, but I'm dealing with it a little bit worse because I don't know where to process things, where to send it to my brain. But it is just little things like that of managing and coping. And even after football games, I remember after the Euros, sunglasses were straight on, AirPods were straight in, I had music blasting. I don't really like noise, but when I have really loud music in, I'm like zen. But that was the only way to decompress me after a game. Otherwise, for the next 2-3 days, you've not really got the real Saf. You've got some stress ed who's still decompressing about kicking a ball for 90 minutes. So it's just ways like that I just, it's more about managing the life than changing myself.
And I mean, like, you've already got challenges, like, on a day-to-day basis. Never mind, you're in professional sport and a team sport and game days. I'm literally going through all the scenarios of just being like, there's so many things to manage. But also, has it been good for your teammates as well? Now that you know yourself, has it helped them understand you better as well?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Definitely early stages. I remember actually Mel, one of the French girls, was like, why you wear your sunglasses? Like, why have you always got them on your head? And I'm like, okay, perfect time. I'm autistic, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and she's like, my cousin has that. And I'm like, it is common. You just don't necessarily see it in me because I hide it. But it has been really helpful because sometimes I'll say something and it's really, really blunt. And I don't mean it to be blunt. I'm actually trying to joke. And they're like, oh, not the right time. And I'm like, what have I just said? I didn't say anything wrong. I'm just speaking, no? Or if, I don't know, this is where I look back at the time I got released at Liverpool. And it was like they actually didn't know how to manage with my emotions and how I perceived stuff. And it was one of them where it's like, I'm only saying it because it's not right, but maybe the way I said it was wrong because I'm so blunt and because I don't look at you in the eyes. I remember being in a meeting room with the coach who eventually dropped me, and she was like, you need to look at me in the eyes. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't pull myself to do it because sometimes it's so uncomfortable that it's just like, no, I can't put myself through that. And it was in that moment, she was like, well, we're not really going to take you on. And I'm like, okay. But at the time, I didn't know. At the time, they probably just thought I was trying to be really difficult and you know, oh, I'm this person and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. But in theory, I was just trying to make myself a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, and clearer, and try and manage whatever you were going through because you didn't have that diagnosis then. So you didn't really know what was going on either. You just know that you had a lot of emotions. You didn't really know how to handle them all. But now that you do know, I guess, does it now help you with, you know, tougher conversations that you might have to have, or how you communicate, or is there anything else that you think about now? Or I don't know, I'm trying to ask you if you can manage your emotions better now that you have a diagnosis.
Yeah, 100%. I've actually had so many more difficult conversations that I thought I wouldn't be able to have, but now I can, because it's like, okay, we might need to structure it different. You might need to let me write it down, you read it, and then come back to me versus, you know, sit face to face in a room and, you know, blah, 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 hammer me, what's this, what's that, why are you doing this? And it was one of them, like last year, when I was training with Ian Wilcock, the old United goalkeeper coach. At the start, we were a bit like, we used to butt heads a little bit because sometimes he would be like, you need to communicate more. You know, you're on the pitch, not speaking. Or like afterwards, after training, you need to come find me and have a conversation. And I would just avoid it as much as I could. But it ended up getting me in trouble because it's like, no, it is your job. And we ended up having like a sit down chat and it being like, I struggle to do it this way. Can we try this way? And then obviously he gets his input and he's like, okay, we'll ignore that bit. Let's work together. We'll have a catch up every so often. I'll message you versus having a sit down or having a call. And it's just little ways like that put me at ease, but also like we were still getting something out of it, and we were building that relationship, and it eventually became to a point where it was like, he's my go-to. Like I can go to him for anything now, which a year ago I'd probably say, oh gosh, maybe not Wilco. And then it leads on to the pitch. Like you got a good relationship with your coach, you're going to train better. You're going to want to perform for them. But yeah, little things like that, just changing the slightest things to get the best out of me, because I know how my brain works and how I can adapt.
Sorry, I'm just thinking from like an athlete point of view as well. Like, I'm just so interested, like when you're on the pitch, has it kind of changed your approach of how you train or play or how you see things on the pitch? Or is it just like, do you know what I mean? Just kind of, I'm just so interested in that.
I used to be silent on the pitch. I used to not speak. And it was a difficult one, because it's like, you're a goalkeeper. You see everything. You need to tell people what to do. And I'd be like, oh no, I can't, because so-and-so just shouted at me. And they were like, yeah, that's okay. And I'd be like, no, but she just shouted at me. And it's the point where I'm like, okay, Saf, they're not having a go at you. You're just processing it a lot differently, and you're taking in danger that isn't really danger. And it's got to that point where I'm like, I've got really good relationships with everyone, because everyone knows how I work. And we've had conversations that, you know, if they're speaking to me like that in an aggressive way, it's okay. They're not doing it on purpose. It's just how they work. So then I know how they work, but it's building them relationships. And I do think I see the game differently. I'm not necessarily like a lover of tactics. Like, it's essential, you need tactics. But for me, it's like, I always relate it to Lego. I'm always like, if there's a missing piece in a set, I'm just going to go in my little random box. Doesn't matter if it's not the right colour. As long as it fits and does the job, that's fine. So I'm always searching for the next thing, but like not strict on it. Like, I'm not like, if it's a tactic and I don't do that, it's the end of the world. If I've done something else and it gets from A to B, it's okay. That's how football works. You just have to play.
Sure, that's going to make you a better player. Like, the fact that you're so like hyper aware and just putting all the pieces together, like that is literally what most coaches want players to be like. So if anything, it's like, it's helping you become a better player as well in some ways.
I would like to hope so, but
yeah.
It is one of them, you know, you can sometimes be with a coach who's very, very strict. And that's where I struggle. I'm like, okay, but what about that? What about that? And when I was on the pitch, I actually saw that. And I didn't really see that, what you're trying to get me to play. And it's one of them where it's like finding that balance. But I do think I see the game a little bit differently, but I can never quite tell, because you never know what everyone else is thinking. But it is weird. I do sometimes envision Lego during a game.
I love that you love Lego. I also love Lego. I just want to touch on quickly, because we are running out of time, but it's funny, isn't it, how they call it a diagnosis? Because we've just talked about how many positive things can come from having autism. Maybe you need to take a little bit more time to really understand how to get the best out of you personally. But I just think it has such negative connotations, but actually when you know, I feel like you can still, you're more than capable of living with it and just still living your absolute best life like you are. But it's weird, isn't it? Because diagnosis just seems negative.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Some people say diagnosis. Some people have changed ASD to ASC, which is condition. Yeah. Personally, for me, I just call it autism, because it's like, it is what it is. And a lot of people go, well, you don't have it. And it's like, what do you mean I don't have it? Like, you don't look like you have autism. Well, I'm sorry that disability doesn't have a look. Like, sorry.
What does autism look like?
Exactly. What does it look like? So it's one of them where I'm just kind of like, diagnosis, condition, I'm just autistic.
But it also,
it's me.
Yeah, and that's great, because it's part of you, and now you know. It's just a shame, like we say, it's taken you so long, but it can be a superpower. I feel like now you can do whatever you want because you understand you a bit more.
Yeah.
I think everyone has their own sort of perception of it, don't they, and like to call it different things. But I'm the same with you as well. People say, you don't look deaf. Are you actually deaf though? I'm like, What do you want me to look like? But as long as you're happy in yourself and you understand yourself, that's all that matters. But it is quite funny of how people sort of view it and stuff in different terms and stuff. Even like some people don't see deafness as being a disability and things like that. It's just different for everyone, innit? But you've just got to do you.
Crack on. Speaking of which, what's next for you, Safia?
Gosh, what is next? Just to have a great season, and just try and push. You know, like it's one of them. I'm 20. I'm only just starting my career as a goalkeeper. So it's just seeing what comes, taking my opportunity, showing that I can play, and that if that is for club or Wales again, we'll just have to see.
Can't wait to watch how everything unfolds for you.
Yeah.
And we are wishing you all the best this season with Man United.
Thank you.
You feeling confident?
Yeah, very confident. It's been a good pre-season. I don't think people are ready.
Go on.
Amazing. Okay, Safia, we're going to do quick 5 questions with you. Are you ready for this? Okay, let's go.
Right, first one. Who was your sporting hero growing up?
Okay, this is going to be really weird, but I didn't have one, but I had a film that had someone that looked like me, which was Jess from Bend It Like Beckham. She was the only Asian footballer that I ever saw, which is weird because it's a film.
Oh, it's not weird at all.
But Bend It
Nice.
Like Beckham was weirdly my film.
I bet that was your favourite film growing up,
My
wasn't
favourite
it?
film.
I love
CD
that.
was scratched.
Other than your own sport, which sport would you have the best chance of winning Olympic gold?
Badminton.
Was not expecting that.
Badminton.
Do you play badminton?
Oh, okay. What level are we talking about? Because I play it in the garden. Like every summer, we whip the badminton net out, and me and my brother are out there like 2 hours every day.
Will you back yourself?
Yeah, I'm decent.
What is it, LA 2027, is it? Next
Yeah, you
Olympics.
see me there.
Who would be your dream dinner party guest?
Chewbacca. Okay, hear me out. He's been on the Millennium Falcon. Like we might not be able to understand each other, but Chewbacca.
Ah,
Well, it would be interesting.
yeah,
It
interesting.
really
one.
would. What's the best thing you've bought in the last 12 months?
It would have to be Lego. Just Lego, more Lego.
Not anything for your garden?
No.
No.
I did get a really nice pair of pruners.
Oh,
I don't know what that is.
no, I don't.
It's like the
Pruning your garden?
fancy scissors. For
Oh,
like,
right.
for the trees.
That's
Love that.
cute.
That's
they were
quality.
nice, but they're the same level as Lego, don't know.
I love that. 20 years old, I did get some real nice pruners. I was like, I thought she was going to talk about like prunes or something. I was like, that's so nice. I love that.
Quality. So, other than social media, what's the most used app on your phone?
Oh, maybe my notes. Like, all the time, someone will ask me something, I'll put it in my notes. And then I'll give an answer in my notes. And then I'll read from my notes. So probably my notes. Yeah.
Notes it is.
Notes.
Yeah, notes.
What's the thing that you are most proud of?
Playing in the Euros. Having my brother watching. Yeah.
You and your brother quite close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haven't always been, but as we've got older, very close.
That's really sweet.
Had you not been an athlete, what would you be?
Well, in school I went down the physiotherapy route, but I think that was more because I was in sport. If I wasn't in sport, I would love to be a Lego master builder.
I know. I thought you were going to say something Lego related.
Yeah.
Love it.
Like doing the miniature builds.
Can
in
you
the
not do that as
Discovery
well?
Centre. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. That would
Life
be cool,
after
wouldn't it?
sport.
Exactly. That or gardening. Like a landscaper.
There needs to be some sort of collab with you and Lego or you and these sunglasses.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's so many opportunities here for you. But I would love to, maybe we should, maybe I want to be involved. You should make your own YouTube channel, like build it with Saf.
Maybe.
Yes.
We do have like a little Lego club at United. So maybe we do like TikToks, but we're not very good at keeping on top.
Something's in
So
this, I'm telling you.
maybe
There is.
Yeah,
Put up
because
a mind together.
we take a Lego set every away trip. And
Do
we
you all
build
do it
them.
together?
Yeah.
Is that from your influence?
Yes.
Oh.
My influence. Because I started bringing Lego figures in, because I bring one everywhere, and then they were like, "Well, I want one," and I was like, "Right, okay, I'll get you a Lego." And then I brought one in, and we have them all on like the lockers. I've decorated the changing rooms because it's just a bit boring without. And then we were like, should we just build Lego as a way to just decompress after training? And now we take every away trip, game, even pre-season tours, we'll take a set and we'll just sit, chat, build.
That's actually really cute. That is team bonding.
That is team bonding.
Team bonding,
yeah.
that's cool.
Sit, chat, build. I can see it now. Looking ahead, what are your biggest dreams, both as a player but also an advocate for neurodiversity in sport?
I think footballing wise, I want to win as much as I can. I want to be number one for my country. I just want to play football at the highest level, whether that be at tournaments, club level. I just want to play. But for neurodiversity, I probably just want to use my platform as much as I can. Because it's something that when I was little, we didn't have. You couldn't really look up people and be like, oh, they're speaking about this and they're speaking about that. And I relate to that. And I want people to not feel alone, even if I'm not there. Like, I might not know you, but I know what you're going through, and hopefully share my experiences and how they can support themselves better, how other people can support them better. But just use my platform as much as I can and show that it's okay to be who you really are. Yeah.
I just love how open you are, because you can't underestimate the impact you will have on other people. Just even if you have no idea who they are, they will be able to relate to you and really take something from that. And like you said, feel less alone. So I'll take my hats off to you for that.
That's literally happened to you as well. Like, you are living proof of that as well.
Exactly. It's so true.
Like, when you are in front of the camera and there's like eyeballs on you and there's young kids looking up to you guys and seeing themselves in you, honestly, the impact that you are both making is amazing.
Oh, thanks. Hyping us up here. You are amazing.
I'm making absolutely no impact.
Sorry. Right. So at the end of each show, we always ask one question, which, can you tell us a time where you thought you were stronger than you think?
It was, so after training, it was a random day. I think it was maybe 2 years ago. I didn't think I could continue. I thought, you know what, I'm fed up. This is it. And I remember just ringing my mum. And that was so hard. I just thought, what if what I tell her and asking for help and saying, you know, like, I don't know what I can do now, ruins our relationship, because we're really, really close. And we've had, basically my granddad committed suicide when my mum was younger. So it's always been like a, should I be feeling this way when she's already gone through it moment? And I remember ringing her, and it was just like relief. Like, I knew I could continue after hearing her voice. And that's when I knew I was stronger than I think, because I asked for help and, you know, life got better, and I'm smiling today and I'm still alive. So, yeah.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I know, same. I feel like your mum will be very grateful for that conversation as well, because rather have the conversation, have the difficult conversations, and, you know, be here to live the tale and, you know, thrive like you are, because you absolutely are. Setting an amazing example for so many people. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Let's all have a coffee and have a debrief after this.
Big debrief.
Oh, honestly, it's been so lovely having you on the podcast, Safia, and you sharing your amazing story with us. Like, wow, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully you'll come back.
Love to come back. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
With Lego.
With Lego. I might just have to take that bonsai tree apart, because that's Lego.
Okay, well.
I've been eyeing that up the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually
Did you do
Just
that
put it on there.
purpose?
Yeah, and the new orchid that came out. That'd be
They obviously knew you were coming.
Yeah.
Good luck this season. Go out there, smash it. We'll be watching, cheering you on, wishing you and the team all the very best stuff.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you all for watching. What an amazing episode. So good to have Safia with us today. We've got loads more Stronger Than You Think episodes. Do make sure to go back onto Rugby Fast TV and watch them all twice. Thanks for watching. See you soon.